Property tracker is a trademark term for John L. Scott. And what it is the search functionality and the email notification system that kind of works with the John L. Scott website, right? So we've all gone to one of the competitor websites, Zillow or Redfin, and we've kind of searched for, the kind of house that we wanted in the area that we wanted within the price range that we wanted. And then we get daily or weekly emails, giving us the list of listings that match that search criteria. Okay. We do this for our clients. We go into the Northwest MLS, we put in the search parameters, we enter their contact information, and then either daily or as they appear or weekly, our clients get a list of all the listings that match their search criteria. So a property tracker is just simply that same tool on the John L. Scott website, right? And it connects to your personal John L. Scott website. So, if you are adding people to your contact database in MyDesk, and you're sending them emails, that the monthly housing reports and the seasonal updates, then you might also want to be sending them listings from that site. Or the other reason we would create a property tracker is because we want to create a custom search for a set of listings for the front of our website. So I'm going to go over both of those. So the first thing that we want to do is go ahead and visit MyDesk. It's mydesk.johnlscott.com. And we're going to go there, and we're going to first things first, kind of make sure that our John L. Scott website is published and that we know how to get to it and that we know how to customize it. So once you're in MyDesk, over on the left-hand side is the menu of options that are available. One of them is called the Website Designer. And the Website Designer is how you create, customize, edit, and publish your personal John L. Scott website. So you'll see in the box section here, my personal John L. Scott website is Jason Fox, which is your John L. Scott username, .johnlscott.com, right? So whether you know it or not, you have this website available to you if you are a John L. Scott agent, and you might as well, if you're going to have it out there in the world, have it customized and representing you in the best possible light, right? Would everybody agree with that? Yep. It's out there, so let's take advantage of it. Okay, so we kind of know where the website is. We kind of know how to get to it. And so those are some good first steps. Now we want to go ahead and create a property tracker, essentially, which is just basically creating a search from your John L. Scott website. So go ahead and pull up your John L. Scott website. So, be Terry Poole, be Chris F, I think, whatever your usernames are, .johnlscott.com. And we're going to use the website like we were a user. So this is the part that's kind of confusing about property tracker with John L. Scott versus like the MLS or like virtually any other search system. You kind of go into a search area in the back end to create it. But here with John L. Scott, you sort of create it on the front end. So a little different. But anyway, so you pull up your website. First thing you're going to do is hit the search button. Probably it's like the second button up at the top menu, and go to the search, which will pull up the map search. And then you have really got to decide on what you're going to do right now. So again, there's two reasons why I would set up a property tracker. One, I want to create a custom search for one of my contacts in my MyDesk contacts. And I know what their dream home is. I know where their next house is going to be. Maybe I want to set up a market insight report. So I want to do like just their neighborhood, right? So that's one of the things I would do probably with my John L. Scott people. So if I have, 100 contacts in my John L. Scott database, and I'm like, well, I don't necessarily know where they want to go move to. I don't necessarily know where they want to buy next, but I do know where they live. So I can set up a parameter around their neighborhood, and I can send them the report. So they're basically getting, a monthly neighborhood report. right? Very specific to their own. So in conjunction with the housing market, now they're getting all the listings, solds, and actives in their neighborhood and a market insight report every month, virtually eliminating the need for them to use any other website, right? Or I also do need to set up a set of, a search parameter for the front end of my website. So Natalie, for example, when agents are saying, okay, we're getting to the part where I think there's 5 things that corporate asks for. One of them is a property tracker search link that they want to have added to their site. So they're going to say, okay, well, how do I do that? Right. So for them, what they're going to want to do probably is do like if they specialize in waterfront homes, for instance, they would do West Seattle waterfront homes. As you can see, well, this arrow is off the screen. Maybe you guys can see it, but that arrow points to a little box that says waterfront. We do actives. We put in here West Seattle. And if you wanted to do price ranges or any other kind of customizing, you could do that. But for the most part, you'd probably want to keep it fairly open. That they do condos, maybe they do West Seattle condos. I would just do West Seattle. I would do condos down here. I would do active, right? So it really depends on what we're using the property tracker for, on how we want to set up the search parameters. But, I think most agents are pretty familiar with how to do search parameters. So you set up whatever is going to work best for you. And then when you have, and also this tool right here, in the little black box, the polygon tool. So this polygon tool can be really helpful. And that's going to be more if we're doing like those neighborhood reports for our current clients, right? So I know my neighborhood, or assuming my friend lives in Fremont, for example. So I'm going to go hit my little polygon tool. I'm going to put a little polygon around the Fremont neighborhood. And then I'm going to send him all the activity that happens in Fremont. So, they're always up to date on exactly what's going on in the market. And they're always being reminded that I am the trusted professional. I'm the one giving them this information. I'm keeping them up to date, right? Just another touch point. Okay, so once I get the parameter set up, whether I use the polygon or I just use a city or however I want to do this, then I go ahead and hit the save icon here, the save button. Now, when I do hit the save, then this little box is going to pop up here, and it's the property tracker account box. And so if I am making this search for one of my clients, then I can do one of 2 things. I can either go ahead and click this sign up button and sort of, if they're not in the contacts already, and then create a property tracker account for them right here, right? So I'd go ahead and hit sign up, create one, boom, go. If I'm doing this for my own website, then I will log into my own property tracker account right here, okay? So my own property tracker account is going to be my John L. Scott login. Whatever that is, right? For me, it's jasonfox@johnlscott.com, password, XYZ. So 2 different things I can be doing, 2 different ways I'm going to use this. Now there's even a third, which I'll show you in just a second. So if you have created a property tracker in the past, you log in. If you have not created an account, you sign up now. If you are creating the tracker for a client, you can add their email address and create a password here. Or if they are already in My Desk, then we can go to My Desk contacts, which I'll show you here in a second. But once you go ahead and log into your property tracker account, they're going to want you to go ahead and save the new search that you just created. So we'll give it a name. My example, I did Seattle waterfront homes for sale, right? So I just call it Seattle waterfront homes for sale. This is a list of all Seattle waterfront homes that are active. And now we have another decision. Do we want to send new listing notifications on or off? How often do we want to send them? Do we want to send them via email and also via text? Okay. So if I am setting up a neighborhood report for my contacts, I certainly do not want them to get daily reports, right? They're going to get very annoyed by me. I'm probably going to put this on monthly and on email. If I have a client who is ready to go and is looking for something, right now, super hot, show me the freshest stuff, then I'm going to go ahead and say, yes, please send it daily. And I'm probably going to add it to text as well, so that they're getting that information as fast and as easily as possible, right? So depending on how hot they are, is how, how much I'm going to bother them, if you will. But if I'm doing this search for the front end of my own website, I don't want them. They'll annoy you. So turn them off, right? So if you're just creating this for your website, turn them off. Unless you just want to know, maybe you're like, oh, I'd like to keep track of a neighborhood, just for my own knowledge or whatever, then keep them on, right? And then market insights, same thing. If this is for a client, I'm going to keep those on. These are the market insights is kind of like just this really cool, like monthly report that summarizes everything that's gone on for the month. So I would keep those on for most clients, turn it off for myself. Once I have this, all filled out and I've decided the frequency, I'm going to go ahead and hit save. Yeah. What's up?
Would you, if you get agreement from your client to be on Property Tracker, do you ask them like, hey, do you want to be on listing notifications, or do you just make that decision?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I'm going to just kind of set the bar in all my consultations, right? In all my meetings and all my pop buys. Hey, I'll be sending you great information, that most people really love to get every month, right?
Yeah.
And so it's less of a question and just more of as your real estate professional, I know that this is the kind of information that we all like to have about our neighborhood. And so I'm going to provide that for you, so you don't have to go out looking for it. So I'm just kind of going to set that expectation with all of my people.
Okay.
That's my personal strategy. If I get to the point where I'm calling and saying, hey, do you mind if I email you listings right now? Would you like that daily or weekly or monthly? That's going to be probably pretty abrasive. So, hey, would you mind if I sent you some great real estate information every once in a while? It's, most of my clients really love it. Yeah. Okay. That's great.
Well, thank you.
Okay. So, once you save, excuse me, sorry, I get the trigger finger, man. Once you save the search, then that's it. Right. And that part is kind of eerie too, because you're kind of like, did I just do something? Yeah, you did. You saved a search. Now, if it's for a client, they're going to get all those notifications as soon as they pop up. And if it's for the front end of your site, I'll show you where that is in just a second, but you did just do something. Okay. So now if you already have your client in the contacts or in your database here on my desk. So I go to my desk, I go to contacts. And so for example, I got Kevin here, right? And Kevin has a little button over to the right of him that says create account. So this create account is a property tracker account. So I can just click that button and it will open up their property tracker backend. So once a property tracker is created on your site, that does give that person a username and password experience, right? So as you can see now, when we're in the website over in the upper right-hand corner, instead of just saying property tracker log in, now it says property tracker, hit his email address. Okay, so he's logged in, and it's going to bring you to like the saved search type area, right? So theoretically, it's funny because the reason why I think this is a little bit confusing is because it's all created from the client's perspective and there's no agent perspective. And so we're sort of acting as the client. We step in and act as the client. And so it's kind of like, wait, what am I doing now? But but that's best I can tell. That's really the only thing you can do. So we're in, Kevin's property tracker account now. And as we can see, he's favorited 0 things and he's searched for 0 things. Okay. So, and then it tells me here, you don't have any saved searches yet. Search now. Okay. So I would go in there, click search now, and I would follow the steps from earlier, where it's going to take me to that map page. I'm going to put in my search parameters. I'm going to hit the save button. But now when I hit the save button, it's going to take me back to here and I will see a saved search. Okay. So 2 ways I can do it for a client, right? I can do it from my map search on my John L. Scott website, save it, sort of create the account right there. And then they're going to get an email notifying them that they just created a property tracker account. Or I can, if I already have them in my contacts, I can come into the contacts section, click the create account button, and create the search from there. Either way works just the same. It's just depending on whether you have them in there or don't have them in there. And then finally, if I want to create a search for myself, then I'm going to do the search. I'm going to create the property tracker account, but I'm going to create it under my own name. It'll be my personal property tracker account connected to my website. Okay. So now let's say that I now want to add the search that I created. So in my example, I created a search for Seattle waterfront homes, right? And I want that to be on the front of my John L. Scott website. So I will come back to my desk. Again, we'll visit website designer, and we'll see, this sort of, collection of information here. This just means luxury. When you first start with this tool, you have to pick one of 3 templates. I don't think you can ever change it. Right now, we have the opportunity to change it. Ballard and Westwood. Natalie actually has that tool. She has all the parameters around what is required to change it. There's 3 different templates to choose from. So if you are interested in changing this template right now, then we can get that information to you. But this is the one I chose to start with. Luxury, you might have a different one, but there was only 3. And then this row is all pages, right? So these are different pages that are on like the top menu of my website. So there's a search bar or button, there's a buying button, a selling button, home value, et cetera, et cetera. Now over here in the right hand panel, this is the home page setup, if you will, right? So sort of that opening home page of your website. This is how you edit it, how you create it, how you customize it. So you click the second down edit button. This first edit button is sort of the edit for the whole site. Although there's not a whole lot you can do for the whole site, but if you click this button, you can click through, I think there's like 7 windows. You can change a few things, you can add a few things, but to change the front of your website and how it looks, you click this edit button. So we'll click the edit button. And then if we scroll down a little bit, there's like these boxes, right? And each little box is, like the next section of the website, from top to bottom, right? So I think to start with, all of the boxes are full of something. And so there's one box that is listings. I went ahead and deleted exactly what was in that box, just so I got to this box, which is an empty container, and it'll say tap to add content once you delete out whatever was in there. So tap to add the content. And these are the 9 content pieces that John L. Scott allows us to put into each one of those little content boxes. So we can put some branding, we can put a search box, we can just do paragraph like open text, we can do an image, We can do a Vimeo video. We can do a YouTube video. We can do HTML embed code. We can do 3 call out buttons, or we can do featured listings. Okay. So for the sake of the property tracker and the tool and displaying our search parameters on the front of the website, we want to do featured listings. So we click that box, we click next. Then it's going to open up another step 1 of 7 prompt box. And the first thing it's going to ask us is, what would you like to title the listings, right? So again, I created a search for Seattle waterfront homes. So I'll put Seattle waterfront homes as my title. I do want to include the title bar and the sort controls above the listings. And I click next. Then it asks me, do I want to do this as a saved search, or do I want to do this as my listings? Okay. And Nally, when they're asking that question, when corporate's asking that question about the website, this is what they're asking about. Do they want to feature their own listings, my listings, or do they want to do a saved search? Again, if you feature your own listings, you need to be able to have 2 to 4 or 5, pretty much at all times. Otherwise, it'll just be like one little house or empty. So kind of lame. So unless you have a lot of listings all the time, typically I'm going to suggest you go with the saved search. And then you're going to hit the drop down menu, and every search that you've made in your My Desk will be listed there. So you can see in the past, I've done Linwood homes for sale sorted by days on market, manufactured homes for sale in Snohomish County, new Seattle to Bellevue, 750K. But here's the one I just did, Seattle waterfront homes for sale. Okay. So I'm going to select that. I'm going to hit next. The next question it asked me, do I want to do this as a grid or as a carousel? I'm going to go with the grid, right? That's just your, 4 by 3. It's like 12 listings in a box, right? The carousel has them kind of scrolling by. Any kind of movement and scrolling and things typically confuses people. So I would just stick with the grid. And next. And then how many? So for some reason they did this funny, but I think it shows 4 across. And so they only give you, what is it, 5, 6, or 12 or something. Anyway, in order for it to be an even number, it has to be 12. So then it's 4 rows across, 3 columns down. So 12 fits that perfectly. And how do you want to sort them? I typically just sort it by price, high to low, but you could also do by like list date. So like if you want to show like the newest listings. So it really depends on how you want to show things, how you want to order it. And then you hit next. The next one is, do you want to add some listings to the results manually? No, I don't. Next. Do you want to exclude any? No, I don't. Next. And then finally, step 7 of 7 shows you this is kind of what it will look like, right? It's just, a bunch of listings. So Seattle waterfront homes, as you can see, these are all Seattle waterfront homes listed from highest price to lowest price. These are just fun to look at houses. I would love to be the agent on some of them or sell them, but so right now I'm not. That's okay. So if this looks good to you, this looks like what you were trying to create, awesome. We hit save, and then it will kick us back to our My Desk screen, back to this front page editor. And to finish what we just completed, we hit the big green publish button. Okay. And voila, we have published our search grid of Seattle waterfront homes to the front of our John L. Scott website. All right, so I can do that with any type of search parameters I want. You probably don't want to have like a whole ton of listings on the front of your website, but having some on there, I think is definitely a good thing. And let's see here. I'm going to go ahead and do. Okay, just to show in live, right? If I go to contacts, any of my contacts has the create account, which also pops up the, it does say property tracker up here, and it tells you no account, click to create a property tracker account for this contact. So if I click that button, are you sure you want to? Yeah, okay. I'm pretty sure. Right, and it kicks you to this screen. Again, this is their screen, not ours, right? This is their property tracker. And as you can see, this person, well, they hadn't created an account. So of course there's not going to be any favorites or any searches, but I would go to searches. I would hit search now. Let's see here. If they lived in the, Fauntleroy neighborhood here, then I would just do, I know this is not perfectly correct, so please don't get up in arms, but I could just do something like that. And I would probably want to go ahead and hit the criteria button. I'd want to do actives, pendings, and solds, right? And then I might even put in some parameters that sort of match my client's house if I know. If not, maybe that's good enough. I'll just show them every single thing that's going on in their little area. And then I hit save, right? I don't want to do it because this is not accurate for the person that I just chose, but you get the point. Again, over here, the website designer. Okay, and this is what it looks like live. So these are all pages, right? But this is the home page. Okay, I got not this big edit button. This big edit button is for the whole website, but this second edit button will edit the home page. And then it gives me all of these content boxes, and I can change whatever's in each one of these content boxes. So by default, John L. Scott puts a bunch of boilerplate stuff in there. So we can go in there and put in whatever we want, right? But here, this one with the 9 little boxes, this is the featured listings. So again, I deleted it just to start, but you could also work from that box as well. Okay, do I want to include the title bar? Yes, and we just went through the slides. We don't need to do that again. So once I add my search there, I publish it, and now it'll show live on the front end of my website. And a real easy way to get to the front end of my website while I'm here is think. I can just click the link provided by the back end there. Okay, so now I come down and here's all my searches. This is actually in the smaller size. There we go. Okay, so you can see right now I am logged into my property tracker, right? Obviously, I had to do that when I created my custom search, my Seattle waterfront home search. It logged me in. Now I'm logged in there. So now if I came back and did another search in here and hit save, it would just deposit it right into my property tracker account. Okay, that is property tracker for the most part.